What's going on, guys? Today I want to talk about how much it would cost to live a luxury or a Western type lifestyle here in Nairobi, Kenya. And when I say a luxury lifestyle, I'm talking about being able to pretty much do whatever you want, live very comfortably, not be inconvenienced very frequently, and basically just live your best life. I don't know if this is good for YouTube watch time, but the answer to me is about $4,000 per month. With $4,000 per month in Nairobi, Kenya, you're going to be able to live in a really nice place, go out to eat at some of the nicest places, get drinks, do whatever you want, not worry about the bill too much, be able to get around, take Ubers, get wherever you need to go without much trouble, experience a really good nightlife, and to be able to travel and do other activities in the country of Kenya. This means you could go to the coast, you can go on different safaris, you can visit different cities. Basically, you're able to do everything that Kenya has to offer. So let's break down some of the costs, and let's begin with housing. For a single person, if you're spending about $1,200 to $1,500 US per month, you're going to be in a very luxury apartment. You're going to have security, you're going to have a pool, you're going to have a gym, you're going to have all the amenities. Basically, everything should be contained in the apartment that you live in. You're going to have nice, high-quality finishes in the unit, kind of like what you see behind me here. Most of these apartments are going to have a nice outdoor space, courtyard, patio, pool, resort-like area where you can hang out and sit around and enjoy the sun or whatever you like to do outside without having to leave your apartment. For about $1,000 to $1,500, you're going to be able to live in a really nice place. If you wanted to equate the quality of property that you would get for the money, I would think you'd probably have to pay in the Northeast region, say Philadelphia. A similar type of apartment probably would cost upwards of $3,000, $3,500 per month for similar amenities, or it could even be more. It just depends on the market or where you're from. Next, let's talk about dining and entertainment. Obviously, this depends on how much you like to go out to eat, but you can go out to eat almost every day on a $4,000 per month budget. A pretty nice restaurant will cost between $15 and $25 per person. That's maybe with one drink. And this is going out to, on average, middle level restaurants, which in my opinion are very nice and the food is really good. If you go to the very, very, very most expensive places for a person, maybe the price creeps up another $10 or $20, but it's really not that much if you're not drinking. Usually when I go to the nicer places, I'm spending about $100, and that's for two people, and we're getting drinks. So if it's just you, you're probably, if you're getting 2, 3, 4 drinks, that's kind of a lot, but you know, if you like to drink, you probably spend about $50 US. I do have to represent for the single guys out there. Going out on a date is very affordable. I know guys in the US complain about, you know, if you take a girl out, you're spending $150, $200, crazy $500, and just to talk to a girl out here, it's a lot better. So if you're a single guy, keep that in mind. It's a little bit hard to compare the restaurants in Nairobi to the US because the international restaurants here, I would say, are above like the affordable restaurants in the US, you know, like a Fridays or Applebee's or something like that. I think Nairobi restaurants are a class above that, even like the average ones. Right now you go to Fridays for one person, it might cost you $30 to $50. The equivalent is going to be about half of that at a Nairobi restaurant that's probably a little bit better. So it's a little bit hard to compare them apples to apples. Basically, you're just gonna have a great time for a very affordable amount of money, and you'll be able to go out very frequently based off of the $4,000 a month budget that I was talking about. Now, if we get into the nightlife and social scene, it's kind of similar. So there's places like I've talked about before, the location. You got Oyster Bay, which is my favorite. Rooftop 270, haven't been to that one. The places are kind of like a restaurant bar vibe with music, which is my favorite. It's kind of got like a lounge feel. Everybody's chilling. People might dance a little bit, but it's not like super hyped. The music's not too loud, which is my vibe. I love being out Oyster Bay, my favorite spot to go to. If you want to get a section, you have to buy a bottle. A bottle will probably be about $100, but that's you getting a whole VIP type section that you would equate to the States. On the $4,000 per month budget, you could kind of ball out and get a lot of drinks and be the guy and do all that stuff and get your own section. And it won't break the bank if you're making what I was talking about as far as the budget. Now keep in mind, I'm not talking about buying Ace of Spades and really expensive bottles and things like that. I'm talking about reasonable. A lot of people out here drink Martell, so I think that, you know, about $100, $150 for the bottle and the section, and then whatever the drinks are thereafter. So within the $4,000 per month budget, you can do that quite frequently, if that's your thing. All right, transportation. If I was living full-time in Kenya, I would purchase something like a Land Cruiser or something that's really good on roads that might not be good. A lot of roads in Nairobi are good, but there are sections where it's not so good. I'd rather have a vehicle that is like a Range Rover or a Land Rover. The prices of those are a little bit more than the US, but for someone that's visiting or you just don't want to make the investment in a vehicle, Ubering almost anywhere within Nairobi is going to be between $3 and $10, depending on where you're going. That's a lot of Uber trips on a $4,000 per month budget, and Uber works very well, super convenient. If you are into the nightlife and all that, if you're drinking, you don't have to worry about anything as far as who's going to drive. It could be costly if you're going to purchase a vehicle, but if you're just living a fluid city lifestyle, like a lot of people in the United States that live in cities, they might not even have a car. If you're taking Uber, then you have plenty of budget to be able to Uber everywhere all the time. And Uber's pretty convenient, so it's not much of an inconvenience if you don't have a vehicle. Plus, it's a little less stressful because the driving out here is crazy, and they drive on the other side of the road, so you drive it on the left side, so adapting to the driving here would take a while. So if you're not into all that, I would just Uber. All right, let's talk about some luxury services. Like for the ladies, if you're getting your hair and nails done, it's about half the cost, maybe even less than that. So if you're paying $150, $200 to get your hair done, you're probably paying about $50 to $80. Same thing with nails. You probably get your nails done for about $30 and get real nice stuff. I don't know all the details, but I do know some Kenyan ladies out here, and I asked them those questions. So that seems to be about what you're paying for high quality nail service, massages, stuff like that. I would just say for those kind of services, everything is about half the price it would be in the US or less. If your apartment doesn't have a gym and you want to get a gym subscription to somewhere like some of the malls have gyms, which are equipped quite a bit better. The gyms are kind of expensive. The gym that I was using at Junction Mall was, I believe it was $40 or $50 a month on a $4,000 per month budget. Not a super big deal, and so that is one thing that you would pay more money than you would in the States. One of the cool things about Kenya, and specifically Nairobi, is if you wanted to get a housekeeper or a driver or some kind of staff or people that are going to assist you in doing things, someone that cooks, it's incredibly affordable. And I'm talking for a housekeeper, and they might cook as well, they're going to cost you maybe $200 per month, and that's pretty much every day them doing stuff for you. A lot of these apartments, if you get one that has a domestic servant quarters, they can stay there, or they could just use that space when they're not occupied doing other activities. I think that's a really big lifestyle change. A lot of middle class and even like not really well off Kenyans will have a nanny or a housekeeper or something like that. It's very common here in the United States. That's for rich people. So it's a pretty interesting cultural difference with that one. I think it's very cool that you can hire someone to do those type of things to make your life easier. And obviously you're going to be living a much higher luxury lifestyle by having someone that's, you know, cleaning and doing some of the support stuff around the house that you may not want to do. Let's talk about travel and activities. A popular thing to do if you were living in Nairobi is if you want to change the pace, you're kind of tired of the city, you can go on different safaris. There's about 4 different parks. Don't quote me on that one, but there's a whole bunch of different regions that you can go to. You could just go to the Nairobi National Park. You could go to Masai Mara. You have Lake Nakuru, and you have Tsavo. Sorry, Kenyans, if I'm not pronouncing everything very well in my accent. I'm working on it. For a foreigner, the ticket to get into these parks is a little bit more, but it's under $100 for pretty much all of these places. You're probably going to also want to hire a driver and a car or a tour guide or something like that. So there's plenty of tour packages, and the prices can vary a lot. If you're in Kenya for a while, you'll start to learn what places to use that aren't marked up in price, because there are places that charge like their travel companies in the US for people that are looking online and things like that, so it'll be very expensive. Overall though, you could visit these parks quite frequently for an affordable amount depending on the type of service that you're hiring. The other popular thing to do is go to the beach. So you can go to the coast, you can go to Mombasa, Malindi, Watamu, Diani. They're on the coast, they're on the Indian Ocean. The water is very warm, and you can really change up the vibe by going out there. A plane ticket from Nairobi to Mombasa or different places on the coast is usually about $100 to $150, and the flight's really short. I think it's only 45 minutes to an hour, and you'll be right over there. And then obviously you're going to have to rent an Airbnb or a resort. Those prices can vary, but they're probably half the cost of an apartment in Nairobi, or even less depending on the quality of place. There's also other activities here in Nairobi. You have the Polo Club, which I haven't been out to yet. There's go-karting and all kinds of activities, bowling and things like that at the malls. So there's plenty of things to do, and all of those things are very affordable, and they would not hurt your budget at all if you're making about $4,000 per month. In conclusion, if you're making $4,000 per month here in Nairobi, you're going to be able to live a lifestyle like someone that's making $10,000, probably more like 12,000 US dollars per month in the United States when you consider rent and the cost of doing all the things that we talked about. Obviously, your experience will vary based off of the things that you like to do. Whether you're looking to vacation here in Nairobi, or you might have the dream of retiring or relocating to Nairobi, you cannot go wrong if you're making $4,000 per month. I do need to do a disclaimer. Do not try to move to Kenya and not have a way to make money in the United States, or have some kind of job lined up here in Nairobi already and have all your paperwork set up, because while it is affordable, your money is not going to last forever. So you do need an income, and so I would use this video as a benchmark. If you want to live a really high quality lifestyle, make sure you're making $4,000 per month. You can make less, you would just be able to do less stuff. You'll still be able to live nice depending on how you allocate the money. I think I laid out the housing cost and the cost of activities enough for you to kind of get an idea of what that lifestyle would look like. If I missed anything, if you guys have questions, please let me know. Also, I'm looking for video ideas on other things to cover, so put it in the comments. And also, I want to say thank you to all the Kenyans that have been supporting and saying really nice things in the comments. I've been trying to respond to everybody, and I really appreciate you guys. You make me feel welcome, and I'm really happy about that, so thank you.